To begin this vanity project, use the Split tool to horizontally split the RCCS host wall into 3 separate walls. Hide the middle host wall, which will later contain wall tiles. And then begin adding grids to the lower host wall. When adding grids, always add the longest, continuous, edge-to-edge grids first, followed by the smaller segmented grids that trim in between. It may be necessary at times to place a grid away from its 2D reference line, and then use the Align tool to correctly locate the grid. For grids that can host multiple grid segments, use the Add Remove Segments function to inset additional grid segments where required. It's always far easier and faster to copy grids that have the same grid segments, rather than starting each grid from scratch. The final grids in the lower host wall will determine the size and location of the legs and supports for this vanity unit. Toggle the Reveal Hidden Elements mode, then unhide the middle host wall section to begin adding the wall tile grids. Hiding the upper and lower host walls makes it far easier to add the grids for the wall tiles. Once again, it's far easier to copy multiple grids across the design than it is to create each grid separately. To assign wall tiles, enter a tile thickness, then activate the Populate function, which will automatically assign tiles to all visible cells in this view. Now, unhide the upper and lower host walls to begin assigning the various cabinetry components to this design. Start by adding the various voids throughout the lower host wall. Enter a depth value. Then assign the infill panel components where required. Change the depth value, then activate the drawer function, and click on the required cells to assign drawer components. Assign the remaining components that have the same depth value. Then reset the depth value and assign the upper mirror. Use the single and double space frame component functions to create the vanity legs and support frame. To generate the vanity model, switch to a 3D view, then activate 3D mode by pressing the mode toggle button. The wood H material style will automatically change all relevant components to horizontal wood grain. Activate the Finish 1 model material and assign this material to the required components. Activate the Shelf Increase function, then click on the box Shelf component once to increase the shelf count by 1. Use the Base Offset function to increase the height of the bottom shelf while still maintaining equal spacing between the upper shelves. The Width function can be used to change the shelf frame width. The Shelf Setback function offsets the front face of the inner shelves from the front face of the main component. Finally, adjust the inner shelf thickness using the Thickness function. Setting the outer edge radius to 0 will create a seamless transition between adjacent components. The next step is to assign HQ handles 1 and 2 to the drawers and cabinets as required. Open the HQ Selector palette, select the Cutout tab, and choose a grooved cutout handle type from the menu. Set the drawer cutout handles to the top position, then use the Span function to create full-width grooved pull handles. Open the Inset menu, set the toggle to HQ2, then select an inset handle to apply to the cabinets. Use the White Handle Material function to change the inset handles to white. For extra detail, use the Mullion function to add grout between all the wall tiles. The Tile 2 Model Material function can be used to change individual tile materials as required. Choose a basin type from the Sink drop-down menu, then place and orient 2 basins on the vanity countertop. Enter an inset frame width, then activate the Inset function, and select the 2 cabinet components to apply. Activate the Louver function, then enter a louver width value, and click on the cabinets to add louvers. The louvers material can be altered by applying either of the infill material functions. Use the Face Divider function to apply the final detailing to the cabinet faces. The Face Divider is a line-based tool that can be drawn between any 2 points or edges to divide a planar face. Four face dividers are required to divide these cabinet faces into 4 separate segments, so that either vertical or horizontal wood materials can be applied. The face dividers automatically cut the cabinet faces after the divider function is exited. Finally, the vertical wood material can now be painted onto the front vertical faces of the cabinets to finish up this vanity design project.